from the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
What's up, Tar Heels, and welcome to this Friday's edition of Sports Extra. I'm Charity Cohen.
And I'm Kirsten Clark. Hope you had a very spooky October. New month with more new sports news coming for you. Let's get to it.
On Tuesday, the news broke that the NCAA governing body had officially ruled that athletes could officially profit off their name, image, and likeness. This has had a ripple effect across the country and has led to many athletes and coaches speaking out about the ruling. Bubba Cunningham released a statement on Tuesday in which he said, "Today's decision by the NCAA was another step in what could be a huge shift for college athletics. There's a lot to be considered before anything can be implemented." And Bubba wasn't the only big-name figure on campus to say something about the decision. Mac Brown from the football team also had a take.
It's a tough position for us because really nobody knows what it means, number one. So I think we all have to figure out, what does that mean? Then secondly, you want what's best for the players. So the more they can get, the better. And thirdly, you don't want to lose the collegiate model. We're not the NFL. And if a Sam Howell makes so much more than a defensive end, where does that balance with your team?
The third-ranked women's soccer team took on Miami Thursday night, hoping to close out the regular season with another win and with momentum going into the conference tournament. After already sealing the ACC regular season title, the Heels look to finish strong against the U. The first goal came early on after Isabel Cox picked up the loose ball in the box and found Rachel Jones, who slotted it into the far right corner. However, the Heels were in for quite a spook after the Canes made it 2-1 early in the second half. The Tar Heels looked to their top scorer, Brianna Pinto, who collected the ball late in the second half and found the back of the net for her 10th goal of the season, making the score 3-2. This game marked Coach Anson Dorrance's 863rd career win as they prepare for their ACC tournament matchup this Sunday.
The Tar Heels are running straight into November with a busy weekend. Tonight, the volleyball team is playing Georgia Tech at 6:30 p.m. The men's soccer team is traveling to Charlottesville this evening to play its last regular season game against the University of Virginia at 7 p.m. Roy Williams and the basketball team are finally back in the Dean Dome tonight. Men's basketball will open the season with a game against Winston-Salem State at 7:30 p.m. Tomorrow afternoon, women's basketball plays an exhibition game against Wingate University.
It's the best time of the year here in Chapel Hill as basketball season is upon us. And some former Heels that are now in the NBA got their season started a week or so before the Heels are going to take the court. There are currently 15 Tar Heels playing in NBA, as well as 20 playing in the NBA G League or overseas. Of the most recent UNC-bred players, those in NBA include former UNC freshman Kobe White, who entered the draft right after his freshman year and moved on to play for the Chicago Bulls. Along with White, freshman Nasir Little also entered the draft after freshman year and now plays for the Portland Trail Blazers. A huge loss for the Tar Heels this season is former grad transfer Cam Johnson, who contributed most of the scoring last season. He now plays for the Phoenix Suns. And last but not least, UNC's beloved Kenny Williams, who played for the Tar Heels for all of his 4 years, joined the San Antonio Spurs for the 2019-2020 season, who will continue to follow our former Tar Heels in the big leagues as we follow this season's new Tar Heels. There's lots of new talent in the freshman class that will have to make up for the loss of valuable players like Luke May, Cam Johnson, and Kenny Williams, who contributed most of the team's scoring last year. Coach Roy Williams said the 2019-2020 roster will have to contribute in other ways and that the Heels might struggle scoring. But nothing will stop UNC fans from envisioning another national championship and waiting for the Duke victories so they can rush Franklin Street.
The Tar Heels scrimmaged Villanova earlier this week, and freshmen Cole Anthony and Armando Baycott were looking good on the floor. Anthony led the team with 28 points, including 4 three-pointers. Baycott followed with 18 points. So maybe those worries about the Heels needing to replace the production loss from last year are already being answered.
But for the first time in a while, football is almost as competitive as our basketball team. The UNC football team finds itself in a position that seemed impossible at the start of the season, a battle for first place in the Coastal Division. Don't look now, but UNC currently sits tied for first place in the Coastal Division with Virginia. The Heels host Virginia on Saturday at Kenan Stadium in a game that will have a huge impact on who represents the division to play in Charlotte for the ACC championship game. The season has seen nothing short of absolute chaos in the Coastal, with all 7 teams in the division still alive in the title race. For a UNC team that won 2 games last year and was picked to finish 6th in the ACC preseason media polls, this season has already been a huge improvement with 4 games left. Whether the Tar Heels win or lose against Virginia tomorrow, don't be surprised to see another last-minute nail-biter.
While the Heels and the Cavaliers are battling for the top spot in the Coastal Division this weekend, let's see where everyone else stands. Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech are next in line, tied for third with 2-2 ACC records. Duke and Miami are at 2-3, putting them at a tie for fifth. And with only 1 win this season, Georgia Tech sits at the bottom of the ACC Coastal Division standings in 7th place. If Carolina wins the last 4 games, the team has a chance to meet Atlantic Division frontrunner Clemson in the ACC championship game.
The Cavaliers will be tough competition on game day. The Virginia Cavs are coming into Saturday 5-3 on the season. At the helm of the offense is QB Bryce Perkins. He's totaled 1,795 yards in passing and 275 yards in rushing. In the first quarter of the 28-21 loss against Louisville, Perkins injured his knee and continued to appear strained throughout the game. If Perkins is fully recovered tomorrow, expect him to be a force. On defense, linebacker Jordan Mack has 44 tackles on the season and leads the team in sacks with 7. The team captain will be benched the first half of play from a targeting call from the Louisville game. The Heels offense will need to be prepared for when he takes the field come second half.
The UNC field hockey team remains undefeated as the Heels head into their last regular season game on Sunday. After a tough fight with the Boston College Eagles last Friday, when UNC came out with a 3-2 win, the number 1 Tar Heels will meet number 15 St. Joseph's on the field Sunday with a home field advantage. The Tar Heels have a 16-0 record for the season, while St. Joseph's is at 14-2. Regardless of the outcome, the Tar Heels are headed to the ACC tournament set for November 7th, 8th, and 10th in Massachusetts.
The Carolina field hockey team started its 39-game win streak at the beginning of the 2018 season. Comparing the 2019 squad to last year's championship team might be telling regarding what's to come as the season wraps up. In the 2018 season, Carolina had scored a dominating 76 goals going into the ACC tournament. The Tar Heels had allowed only 10 goals in their first 17 games of the season. So far in the 2019 season, UNC has scored 65 goals and ranks second for total goals scored in the NCAA. The Heels have allowed 15 goals this year. In both seasons, Carolina goes into the ACC tournament as the number 1 ranked team in the conference and nation.
The Heels will be without sophomore star Erin Matson once again this weekend. She's in India with the national team, which is looking for a spot in the Tokyo Olympics. Friday morning in Game 1 of a 2-match qualifying playoff, India took a 1-goal lead just before halftime. Ranked number 9 in the world, India dominated the offense. In the third quarter, India scored 2 more goals. The first, a drive from the left side of the baseline, and another from a clean penalty corner. India won the game 4-0. Team USA will play India again tomorrow to qualify for the Olympics. They will need to win by more than 4 goals.
So Charity, it's November 1st and basketball season is officially here.
Yes.
First game is tonight in the Dean Dome. I know I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there?
I'm hoping to go. I went to their open practice and they were looking great, so I have to see it. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, of course. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra. We'll see you Monday with all the highlights.